Hey, before we get into this video, press the like. Thanks. I also really quickly want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is NordVPN. You all know how I feel about going raw on the internet. You don't want to do that. You want to be protected. You want to be strapped up, and you can do that with NordVPN. NordVPN offers no data logging, double data encryption, and over 5,500 super fast servers in 60 different countries. They even have a 30-day money-back guarantee. The world is opening back up, and you might be traveling soon, and Nord can protect you when you're in coffee shops, airports, you name it. It'll even unlock different content on your favorite streaming services. Whether you're at home or somewhere else, you should always be protected on the internet. So stop going raw. If you're interested, click the link in my description. Sign up. You'll get 2 years plus an additional month and a fat discount. Check that out and stop going raw on the internet. All right, now let's get into today's video. What's up, everybody? To all my new subscribers, I want to say thanks for subscribing. You know, I appreciate the overwhelmingly positive response to my last video, and as a result of that video, I came here today to show you that I'm not only capable of watching 13 hours of content and condensing it into 20 minutes, so you don't have to watch all 13 hours of that content, but also I'm capable of very crappy content. I decided to make today's video special by breaking out a stool, and this won't be the first time I do it in this video. Admittedly, the title of this video is a little bit of a clickbait. I'm not going to be ranking types of diarrhea that I've experienced and which ones are my favorite and which ones I do not like. Rather, this is going to be oriented towards foods that give me diarrhea. For the purpose of my tier list, I actually don't want to reference too many foods that I've had before, and in fact, I'd like to make this an ongoing series where I just continue to add items to the board to rank, you know, which ones give me S tier diarrhea and which ones give me F tier diarrhea. S tier means it puts me on my deathbed, and F tier means it was really no skin off my back. You know, I ate the food. I might have had diarrhea, but it really didn't affect me all that much. To kick things off, I think it's fair to rank at least a couple things, you know. So I would say an S tier diarrhea for me is protein powder. Protein powder just seems to always get the better of me, and it takes a piece of me with it every single time. So that's going to be, you know, an S tier item that gives me diarrhea. F tier, I'm gonna go spicy Popeye's chicken. You know, sometimes it'll absolutely wreck my insides, but it's a price I'm willing to pay because the food is good enough, and really, you know, I just take that L, no problem. Just boop, and I'm good. With that said, I want to talk about the first item I'm going to rank, and that's Cracker Barrel. If you're new here, let me catch you up. I do a series called Weird DMs, and in a recent episode, we heard a story from a guy by the name of Hudson. Hudson told us this story about how he went to Cracker Barrel, and he ended up taking the most brutal number 2 of his life, and then he went to, you know, wipe, and then he threw a piece of toilet paper over the stall divider, and it hit a bald man on the back of his head. But that's besides the point. The main point is that Cracker Barrel fried chicken is not to be played with, and I got several DMs letting me know that Hudson is not exaggerating, but his experience is also not unique. Cracker Barrel seems to have a reputation of completely destroying people's insides. After that video and interviewing Hudson, I got inspired, and I felt like I have to go eat the food myself and see really what this experience is all about, because it seems to be consistent with a lot of people. So I found a Cracker Barrel, and I went there and I documented that experience. Really, the first sign of trouble at Cracker Barrel is that plate that food comes out on. When you look at those sides, you could tell those sides are not scooped up with love. You know, they're not broken out of a small container, you know, in a beautiful freezer or something like that. That stuff is slopped on there. That stuff is served like that. First of all, that mac and cheese tastes like noodles fell in sonogram fluid. You know what I'm talking about? It's that clear liquid that they put on a pregnant woman's belly and smear it all over, and then they... There's 2 of them in there. It tastes like cheese if you made it exclusively with stuff from Home Depot. It just doesn't taste right. The mashed potatoes taste like gunpowder. And then you get to the gravy. I'm sure there are some people watching this thinking, how could you have such a bad reaction to Cracker Barrel? I've eaten that same fried chicken a million times, and I never had any of those issues. I think the major point that you might be missing is that every time you've gone to Cracker Barrel, you actually haven't had the full Cracker Barrel experience because you didn't eat the gravy. The gravy it's just not gravy, you know? They didn't serve it in a little boat. It came in a cup. And when you turn it over, it's like still, you have to like kind of slop that on a little bit too. That gravy is the base layer to lay brick. You could build a mean house with that gravy. Matter of fact, if you put that gravy in a container and you had a time release with McDonald's Sprite on the end and you just threw that over, boom, Guaranteed. Kaboom. So now this substance is in my body, and I have the task of digesting it now. It's on me. We have no footage of us driving back because neither Cash or I had the energy to even speak after we ate this, and I'm really not exaggerating. We both just shut down. I was driving back in a daze. You know, I'm barely gripping the wheel, and I'm just trying to keep the car in between the lines. Just to make sure I don't. You think about those health diagrams that shows, the flow of blood. All that shit was reversed. All the blood came back into my heart to try to keep it beating still, and the rest of it went to my stomach to give as much juice to try to figure out what to do with this gravy. I get home and I start talking to Alina, or at least I try. This food has, I don't know, I'm almost high with the way it's making me feel. I'm just kind of spaced out. I can't really process anything Alina's telling me. My whole body just feels weak. All I remember is just like, while my body is breaking down, trying to ingest this, whatever this is, I have to go stream. And if you look at that footage of me streaming, I'm completely out of it. I could just feel, it went beyond food. It was like an energy crawling in my body, just like. I felt a second heartbeat in my stomach. I'm sitting there on Twitch like, and then down below, it's like. So I cut the stream short, and now I'm feeling it. Now it feels like it's go time, and I'm expecting the experience of experiences. I'm expecting that this thing is gonna rip. So I sit down to take this dump, and it was serious because typically, I got one hand on Twitter at all times in the bathroom. Just a little something about me. I'm an expert at that for the most part. Certain things you need two hands, but I'm one-handed in the bathroom. But not this time. I took my phone, I put it right on the bathroom sink. I put both hands on my knees. I start praying.
Hail Mary, full of grace. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done.
So as I'm waiting, for it to happen, I almost could hear laughter coming out of my asshole. I can hear the gravy just mocking me. From the inside, it's just this voice that's like, you would like it if I left, wouldn't you? This is Bane in my ass. Yes, you would like it if I left your butthole, wouldn't you? And when it happens, it's like someone just pulled the lever and away it went. That train left the station. It was just the Polar Express. I felt like the lady in The Fifth Element when they line up all the 5 stones and she just looks to the sky and it's just like beam of light shooting from her eyeballs and her face. Just, duh. This is the first dump I've taken where I felt like it took a piece of me with it. Just grabbed onto a part of my soul and just slid down my asshole laughing at me. Just felt it in the middle here. It's like it ripped a chakra straight from my spine. Just like, ugh. So I stand up and I'm looking at the wall and I'm thinking to myself, do I look at this? Because, at this point I kind of feel I'm making contact with another being or something. It's just been this great myth. And now it's time to face it for real. I felt it, and it took a piece of me. So I just feel the toilet bowl emanating this energy, and whatever's inside of it is just over my shoulder, and it's trying to call out to me. See me for what I really am. So I decide I'm gonna look at it. So I turn around, and I look down, expecting but instead I see this survivor idol. Looking back, I can hear the music as I look at it. It's like, and I'm looking at it, and it's looking at me. And then this moment's gone on way too long, so I slammed that flusher. I'm like, get it out of here. And it went. Now, I don't remember at what point I wiped my ass, because it's all a blur. But when I wiped, I was expecting something bad. I was expecting, some kind of caveman, or like what they did to Simba. And so when I look, nothing. Ghost wipe. How could something so devastating leave nothing behind? That's how I know it took a piece of me, because there was nothing left for me to hold on to. It's almost like it never happened. The toilet, clean. Stone clean. Just, it felt like a glitch in reality. I didn't even know if I ever went to Cracker Barrel. I don't even know if that gravy's real. I've never taken a shit that made me doubt real life. You know, so I sit here as a survivor of this because it still left a hole in my stomach for some days after. And Cash, you know, same thing. He hit me up unprompted. He goes, hey, man, my stomach is still messed up. And that made me feel better because I didn't feel crazy. So, you know, for that reason, I'm actually going to go ahead and put Cracker Barrel as, you know, the S tier, the first S tier. I'm going to demote what I previously had as a S is down there with the Fs because it's a price I'm happy to pay. But what happened to me with the Cracker Barrel gravy, I never want to experience that again. So if you have somewhere you'd like me to add to the list, I'm happy to keep this series going. Big thank you to everyone who tried to warn me about the experience I was going to have. You know, I did my best to get around it, but ultimately it got me too. So here I am, one more on the board for the Cracker Barrel gravy. Shout out to Hudson, man. I did it. I got barreled.
Hey, shit's play, man, I had to switch it up. Yeah, might lose a few, ask me if I give a fuck.